Yes. What's going on, everybody? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United again tonight with another cheeky little rundown of the latest Manchester United news of the evening. How are we all doing tonight, guys? Thank you for joining us. We've got plenty to get into. As always, we're going to be trying to do this as regularly as possible. Again, we're talking afternoon shows, we're talking evening shows, giving you all the latest rundown of the day's news and the evening's news going forward. So if you want to see more of these shows, make sure you show your support by smashing that like button at the start of the stream. Share us around on social media if you want. Give us a retweet. It's pinned to the top of the chat. And it's a funny interactive show. So get involved in the live chat and have your say throughout the show. We will dip in and out the chat. And we also have a big Q&A at the end of the show. But welcoming everyone. I did get back to streaming my first stream in a few weeks earlier this afternoon. Thank you to everybody who turned out. Obviously, there'll probably still be a few people coming in here tonight who haven't seen me for a while, so hello to you. What's going on, everyone? Thank you for joining us. Shout out to all the legends in here at the start of the show. Super Fat Frank, Danny Slater, Nathan Gardner, Nathan Anazi, SM, Rohan Narula, Thunder and Joy, Erdem, The Vootinator, Pierce Peppard, Johnny M, Captain Dan, Naz786, Philip Chapman, Scott Wheatley, Rush Marno, Liam MUFC fans, Aaron Spear, Why Though, United Forever, and everybody else as well. Thank you very much, Ben Bray, for getting in here and getting your thoughts and opinions in throughout. Make sure you have your say as the show goes on. Thank you, Custom Spoons. It's good to be back, mate. I appreciate you. And yes, all we ask around here is you chuck a cheeky little like on it and maybe give it a share if you're that way inclined. And of course, subscribe if you're new and get yourself in the live chat and have your say with your thoughts and opinions. Thank you, Erdem. I appreciate you, bud. Thank you, Ryan Melly and Danny Slater and Tom V79. I have lost a bit of weight, mate. Yes, I'm now in the 14 stone region. I'm actually 14 stone, 13 pounds. So just under 15 stone, which is the lightest I've been since I was maybe, I don't know, about 12 years old. So, yeah, I have lost a bit of weight, mate. Always been a bit of a chubber, me. So, you know. But anyway, not so much these days. Right, let's get into it, guys. We've got plenty to get into in regards to the news. We did a video earlier on talking about the latest situation with some of the prospective players that we're looking to sign this summer, i.e. Mason Mount. There was a report from David Ornstein earlier on that we had indeed put in another bid for Mason Mount, which was swiftly rejected. Chelsea Scummers coming back to us with a £65 million want. Now, they can do one on that one, can't they, guys? It's absolutely ridiculous amount of money to pay for Mason Mount. He's shite. Just to put it that way, I mean, he's not exactly 100% brilliant player, if you ask me. He's all right. He's English. He's only 24. He's got some plus points. But ultimately, he's bang average. So that's way too much money to pay for a bang average player. We don't want another Harry Maguire Mark II situation where we just get some English guy who doesn't really live up to it, and you know we spend well over the odds on it. So that's some of the big news that happened earlier. But it's understood that Ten Hag wants Mason Mount. He likes Mason Mount. He rates Mason Mount. Don't really understand why, but he does. He's quite industrious, I suppose. He gets around. He's a decent player, isn't he? And it will help with our homegrown quota. But those are the only real plus points, if you ask me, for Mason Mount. So, you know, that is on the cards. Still, Manchester United could quite easily sign Mason Mount if there can be some middle ground reached. So it's rejected, 50 million quid. I suppose Chelsea just looking for that little bit extra cash in this situation. If Man United are prepared to spend just a little bit more, maybe we could have Mason Mount as our first signing at the football club this summer. Which, it's got to come sooner or later, doesn't it? Because it's been a very slow affair so far. I guess a lot to do with the fact that what's going on with the takeover, but also because the Glazers are bloody skint. And the Glazers are just scummers, and they're not going to want to spend money on, you know, big players, bringing them in early doors when they're going to sell the club potentially very soon. So that's really where we're at. But Mason Mount could well be the first signing of the summer. That's if Man United are prepared to go a little bit higher and reach that agreement with Chelsea for Mason Mount, which I don't think we should. Like I said earlier on, I think 40 million quid is about the right amount of money to pay for Mason Mount, and that's with all factors considered. His age, his contract, his ability. I don't really see why we should pay a penny more than that. Let's just ask the live chat. I'll put it back on you guys. What is Mason Mount worth? What do you think he's actually worth in this current modern transfer climate? What sort of money are we talking about? Francois Cock, thank you for getting in here with your highlighted member comment, Francois. 22 months a member. I appreciate you, dude. Come on, how you doing, Francois? He says, hi, Pig, how are you? I missed you so much. Mate, I'm not doing too badly, you know, all things considered. Thank you very much for asking there, Francois. I hope you're doing good as well, bud. 22 months, hashtag 22 for you, Francois. Much love to you, honestly. That's very, very kind. Of being a member nearly 2 years. You're a legend, dude. FIFA Video says, did you congratulate Man City on winning the treble? Congratulate Man City on winning the treble. If you're a United fan and you congratulated Man City on winning the treble, I think that means you're a prat. But this is my congratulations for Manchester City winning the treble. Do one, you cheating bastards! That's my congratulations for Manchester City, mate. They don't deserve congratulating because fundamentally they've got what they've got by cheating. So, you know, if we're congratulating cheats, then let's just all, I don't know, bow down to Lance Armstrong or whatever. Let's give it up for Diego Maradona in his hand of God. How about no? That's not how it works around here. If you cheat, you don't get the accolades, my son. You don't get the respect. Because they're a bunch of cheats, guys. Never forget it. Anyway, it's true, though. It's true. They are just pure cheats. Jams the highlights. How you doing, mate? Great to see you also. Tonk Nash 87. Bunch of legends getting in here. What's going on? Bell 6891. Thank you for your super chat of justice there. Can we get some love in the chat for Bell? He says, all hail the king. Pig. It's great to see you, bro. You look great. Love you, man. Thank you very much, Bell691. That's very kind of you to say, mate. It has been gash not doing streams the last few weeks. I've obviously had a lot going on with my mother passing away and trying to sort stuff out and just grieving and coming to terms with all that stuff. But I'm trying to get back into the swing of things now. And I really appreciate you all waiting patiently for me to get going again. And I really appreciate all the legends who have kept this show going while I've been away as well. Such as one of the legends in the live chat right here, Solo Tamuat, the Man United Agenda, a.k.a. Errol. Shout out to you, you legend. He says, big up, Pig. Nice to see you back on. Mate, thank you very much indeed for helping out with the shows the last couple of weeks. Thank you to John Shin, Jarvis Cocker, Maisie, of course, doing a great job hosting the shows. Eddie O2, a.k.a. Eddie's Football Waffle, and also Griffo Chaz and Mick Blue as well. Shout out to all the legends who have helped with the streams the last couple of weeks. It has been much appreciated. But yeah, I am now back, and it's good to be back. Thank you very much. Chris Cragg, how are you, sir? So anyway, where was I, guys? I was talking. Yeah, Mason Mount shite. That's where I was at, really, guys. So hopefully we actually swerve Mason Mount and go somewhere else. That's it. I asked how much you think he's worth. So 50 million, says Custom Spoon. 35, says Danny Slater. Leanne Reeson, how are you doing there, says 45 million. Johnny says 40. Jonathan Gallagher says 40. How are you, Jonathan Gallagher, mate? Good to see you back in. Danny Slater says 35. 55 says it's only me, Mick. You what, Mick? 55 million. No, to be fair, I think if we're going to agree a fee with Chelsea, that'll be it. They've rejected 50. 55 million, maybe a couple of cheeky little add-ons, and maybe that will be the agreement right there and then. I don't want that to happen, but I think you could be onto something there. That sounds like a reasonable sort of assessment to make of this situation. We could meet somewhere in the middle. Thank you, Danny Slater. Missed you too, bud. Kieran, thank you for the £2 super chat, mate. He says, welcome back, my son. You're an absolute legend. Kieran, lad. Same goes to you, sir. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. And thank you to everyone for all the well wishes while I've been away and all the messages and that kind of thing. You're a bunch of dons and donesses. Rush Mano says, subscribe to the channel. Great advice. You better listen to Rush Mano because he knows what he's talking about, this guy. Right, let's get on to the next piece of news. Who cares about Mason Mount, to be fair, guys? It's not a sign in that oozes quality and oozes class anyway. It would be a good acquisition at the right price because of the aforementioned reasons. But like I said earlier, it doesn't really strengthen the starting 11 of Manchester United, arguably. And we should be probably setting our sights on better, higher-rated players than him. He's all right. Nice guy, bit of a knob. You know, that's really what I feel about Mason Mount. Declan Rice, on the other hand, I do really rate him. I think he's got a really big future ahead of him. 22 years of age. He's done great things in an England shirt. He's done great things in a West Ham shirt. It's quite possible that that would be on the agenda for Ten Hag. He's somebody that could maybe take over from Casemiro in a couple of years. But certainly, right now, it would make a good bit of sense, I think, to get another top-class player in there to go alongside him. So, you know, this is reports from the Telegraph earlier. We're considering rivaling Arsenal's move for Declan Rice by proposing a player plus cash deal that could involve Harry Maguire or Scott McTominay. Mate, Wessex Mercia has just dropped a £50 super chat in the live chat. You what? Dude, thank you so much, Wessex Mercia. That is absolutely mad, mate. Appreciate the £50 super chat, lad. That is amazing. You're an absolute don. Thank you so much. Guys, let's just get some serious love hearts in the chat there for this guy, Wessex Mercier, who's coming in here raw with a massive super chat there. Thank you so much, mate. He says, good to see you back, Piggy. Mate, it's good to be back. It's really good to be back. Honestly, it is. I haven't really, felt too much up to it lately because of what's been going on and just so much to sort out when somebody passes away, particularly your mum who you live with. So, that is obviously a lot of stuff to sort out and people to contact and stuff to arrange. It's been a nightmare, to be honest, but we're basically over the worst of that. We've got the funeral coming at the start of July. So, I'm just keeping going, man. But I'm back to it now. I will be doing as many streams as I possibly can. So, once again, it's been gash not doing the streams, but I just haven't really been in the right place sort of mentally to do them until now. But I am enjoying getting back into it, and I will be doing them regularly again. So, don't worry about that. And thank you, Wessex Mercier, for all your support and love there, mate. That's very nice. It's good to be back, bud. Thank you so much for that super chat. And Rushmano with a £20 super chat, bro. Rushmano coming in with a £20. He says, great to see you back, Pig. Help the Don if you can, guys. Wow. Well, thank you very much, Rushmano. That's really nice of you, mate. Coming in here raw himself. What a legend. Thank you so much for all the information as well and keeping me up to date with what's been going on at United the last couple of weeks. It's much appreciated, honestly, from my man in the know, a.k.a. Rushmano. Thank you so much, Rush. He says, great to see you back, Pig. Help the Don if you can. Thank you, though, Rushmano. That's very nice. And Nut getting in here with a 100 knock super chat all the way from Norway, lad. He says, the return of the king. Raw. Thank you so much there, man. It's like you guys are hitting them feels right there in the feel meter there. Thank you so much. Dude, can we get some love in there for Nut, Rushmano, and Wessex Mercier for going in there raw? Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Right, I better get back into the show. So Declan Rice, Maguire, potential swap deal, McTominay, etc. It's understood that West Ham like McTominay. It makes sense, doesn't it? Seeing as David Moyes is a ginger goblin from north of the border. You know what I mean? And Scott McTominay is doing bits for Scotland all the time. I actually saw that he's got he's one of the highest scorers in qualifying at the moment. So he's doing really well for Scotland. Shame he's absolutely bag of shite for Manchester United though, isn't it? Let's be fair. McAverage for United has always been the case. Every single season he gets a D rating. And the D stands for dickhead. Because he has been so poor for such a long time. It's no good. But for Scotland he does good. For a lower Premier League side he could do good. Look, the reports here that West Ham would want to sign Scott McTominay. If Man United are able to use him as a make-weight in any deal to sign Declan Rice, they would consider it. Reports are that they would be keen on him. David Moyes is a ginger goblin end of the day. And also more reports here that suggest that, this is an ex-West Ham United employee, suggests, we suspect the rumour of Manchester United entering the Declan Rice race with a player plus cash deal could be true. West Ham would consider Maguire and McTominay in any deal. Maguire would need to take a cut in his wages. Moyes admires McTominay. So, he's got that Scotland connection there. McTominay's probably a perfect sort of player for David Moyes' sort of side, Whereas he's not a good player for Manchester United. If they put in a bid for him, we should be listening to that offer. Or if we can use him in a make-weight, in a swap deal, absolutely perfect. That'd be ideal. It'd be fantastic. So Declan Rice is a player we would want to bring in. Smash a 1 if you want to see Declan Rice in the United shirt for the start of the season. Smash a 2 in the live chat if you think, no, probably too much money. Maybe overhyped English guff. Let's go for somebody else. Like Barella, for instance. Barella is also being linked to Manchester United this summer, as are lots of other players. But have your say. 1 for yes, 2 for no on Declan Rice. For me, it's a big yes, because I think he's just raw, 22. He's already done great things, and he looks like a real talent. But a lot of mixtures, a lot of mixed emotions coming out in the live chat here. John Adair thinks he's good. Naz says yes. Madhouse says no. Vutinator says yes. DC Skyline says no. Aaron says no. Jonathan says no. Hey, it's Zayn Miyasi. What's going on, Zayn Miyasi? Hello to you, bud. Oh, here we go. Oh, thank you, Zayn Miyasi. He says, my condolences for your loss. Stay strong. Thank you, Zayn Miyasi. I thought you were just going to come here and say, we're signing Havertz. We're signing fucking Bruce Lee. We're signing Muhammad Ali after his resurrection, etc. I thought that's what you were going to come in and say. But no, you're actually coming in with a nice message, mate. Nice one. Thank you, Zayn Miyasi. I appreciate you. Can we get some love in the chat for Zayn? That's awesome, lad. Thank you so much, and I appreciate it. Yeah. You're a legend. I hope you're keeping well there, Zayn Miyasi, bud. Big yes for Rice's Kane's Gaming channel. Absolutely with you on that one. ROL Big Pad, thanks for your highlighted comment. He says, welcome back, Piggy. Happy you're back, bro. Thank you, ROL. It's been really not cool being away from you legends for a long time, but it does feel good to be back streaming and talking about Manchester United and doing what I love once again. It is nice to be back, guys. It is nice to be back. Yeah, Jamza highlights. Listen to this. He says, Havertz, we rodded Arsenal out of 60 million quid. How have you done that? I agree. I mean, that's great business from Chelsea. Havertz, in my opinion, is the definition of another bang average merchant. I know the whole Chelsea side were just poor this season, but crikey, 60 million quid for that guy. That's bloody good business from Chelsea's point of view. Arsenal spent a heck of a lot of money there. I don't know if that's going to work out too well for them. But I said the same potentially about some of their other signings that they made last summer, that they're just getting rejects or, essentially players that other teams in the Premier League are prepared to let go. And it worked out pretty well for Arsenal last season, i.e. Gabriel Jesus. So you never know. We'll see what Arteta can do with those guys over there. But I do think that they've absolutely been bent over there for Havertz in terms of the amount of money that they spent. So I couldn't agree more. Vutinator says we got 60 likes, guys. That's awesome. But you know what? Let's get 100 just like that. Smash the thumbs up button if you haven't done so. Hit the like on it. Help us get to 100 likes. That'd be immense. Wessex Mercia, thanks very much, mate, for the 4-month membership. He says, Piggy helps me from feeling lonely. I have no mates. Oh, man, I'm so sorry to hear that, Wessex Mercia, man. That is very, very sad, man. Let's get some love. We're all your mates, aren't we? Let's get a hashtag football friend in the live chat there for Wessex Mercia. Ooh, friend, football friend. No, seriously, Wessex, I consider you a friend, my friend, in a digital sense. You know what I mean? Thank you so much, Wessex, for getting here, though. And I'll tell you who has got friends. Do you know who has got friends? Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw's got a bunch of friends, mate. Yeah, Luke Shaw's a real friendly guy. Look at him here. Hanging out on a boat with Declan Rice and Mason Mount. A.K.A. Agent Lucas. That's what we're talking about here. That's who's got a lot of friends, is Luke Shaw, guys. He's not a little bit short in the friends department, is he? No. So, look, the reason I'm showing you this picture is because we are talking about the potential of Mason Mount and Declan Rice perhaps being targets for Manchester United this summer. Here's Luke Shaw with them hanging out. He goes and hangs out with them on international duty. They're best buds. This is what happens, guys. Do you want to go and play on a football team with your best buds? Yes, you do. Now, I don't know what it is, guys, but there's something about this photo that makes me think of that song. You are my fire, my one desire. Backstreet Boys vibes. I don't know about you, but I want it that way. Come on. It really is Backstreet Boys-esque, isn't it? But anyway, there you go. There's Luke Shaw with his mates. Zami Assi, thanks for another super chat, bud. I appreciate you. He says, Arteta out for signing Havertz. I'm fuming. Timber and Rice is ours. Right, okay, fair enough, Zemiassi. I mean, I don't really understand the whole Havertz signing either, to be fair. He's not had an exceptional time of it at Chelsea. It looks like another acquisition from the Bundes, which just wasn't going to turn out to be stellar in the Premier League. And you've signed him. So I feel it's a strange one as well. I mean, fair enough. I know you don't really truly mean Arteta out, but you are a little bit annoyed at the fact you've done it. I don't understand it either. Why would you spend that amount of money on Havertz? He's decent, he's good, he's fine, he's okay, he's not bad. But that's about it. 60 million quid. You've had your pants pulled down there, bud. Timber and Rice is yours. We'll see about that. I mean, look, you are understood to be interested in Rice. Fabrizio Romano yesterday said that your interest in Rice is not over and you still will be going in for him. But that's before you spunk 60 million on Havertz, though, isn't it? So we'll see. Plus, yeah, if we're being honest, Declan Rice, if he's actually got the offers on the table from Arsenal and Manchester United, a team in Man United who potentially with Ten Hag and especially new owners like Sheikh Jassim potentially coming in, we could go and do some pretty impressive things over the next few years, decade even, which is the time that he would probably be at the club if we signed him. Arsenal, on the other hand, well, they're hashtag perennial melters. They always seem to bottle it somehow. Even in your best season for 20 years where you had the chance of actually winning the league, you managed to lose a whole bunch of games at the end of the season and just toss it away. Because that's what Arsenal do. So if I was Declan Rice, I'm just being totally honest now. This is not even because I'm a United fan. I'm not being biased here at all when I say this. If I had two offers on the table, particularly with what's going on at the moment with new owners coming into United, and I could go to either Arsenal or Man United, it would be Man United all day long. You know, it really would. So I don't know about that, Zamiasi. And Timber, again, we'll see. We've got that Ten Hag connection there. We'll see. Thank you, Zane. Let's get some love in the chat for Zane, though. G-Wolf United Gaming. By the way, can we get some love in the live chat for G-Wolf United? Yeah. G-Wolf, he says, Sharon, the love, my bro. Glad to see you back. When is the funeral? As my mum's funeral is the 5th of July. It's the 3rd of July, my mum's one, mate. So if anybody doesn't know, G-Wolf also lost his mother round about the same time as me. It's absolutely awful. So, you know, we are like, we've been speaking a little bit off of stream and stuff. And, you know, I just want to send my condolences once again to you, G-Wolf. He's also lost his mother. So it's not just me that's had a huge loss with, you know, with my mum passed away. It's also G-Wolf, who's one of the legends of the channel. So let's just get some love in the live chat for G-Wolf in case you didn't know that. That also is the case. And just want to send you some more love there, G-Wolf lad. And just sorry to hear about your loss, mate. I know exactly what you're going through, mate. It's fucking awful, bud. So much love to you, G-Wolf. We got your back, mate. We'll keep you, you know, keep you with your mind off it as much as possible when we can. But let's get a hashtag 39 in there and some love hearts for G-Wolf. I'm so sorry to hear that, bud. You're a bloody legend, my son. You're a bloody legend, Mr. G-Wolfster. Take care, Mr. G-Wolf, and thanks for getting in here. Great segue, says Rushmano. Yes, it was. Previous. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, Rushmano. Thank you, Philip Chapman, for getting your highlighted comment in here, being a member for 12 months. He says, nice to see you. Hope you're well. I'm not too bad, Philip Chapman. I mean, obviously, I had my own sort of health issues going on myself. I'm waiting for it. I've got a CT scan. I went to the hospital on the 8th of June. And they said, yeah, your heart rate's low as fuck. What's that all about? We're going to give you a CT scan. I've got that. They said 8 weeks. That's how long I have to wait for a CT scan. So, but I have been referred to a CT scan myself. So hopefully we'll find out a bit more about that. Thank you very much. Zamiasi's got in here with a super chat. He says, James Cameron's out for delaying Avatar 3 for 1 year. At least Avatar game is out this year for PS5. We need to get like a tumbleweed animation that just goes across the bottom of the screen here. Just tumbleweed that goes across when somebody writes something absolute bollocks in the live chat. Here we go. Let's try this. Let's try this. It's my pig with a little cactus thing in it. It doesn't really work. It's not really... But you know what I mean? What the hell are you talking about, Zamiati? Why do we care about James Cameron delaying Avatar, bud? We don't have any stocks or shares or interest or investment in James Cameron's Avatar like you. You know, I don't know what your problem is, mate. Stop talking about those bloody blue melts. You know what I mean? You think you're a pig in Chelsea scum at the rate you go on about these Avatar melters. Oh, my God. Oh. Zamiasi, thank you for the 199 super chat again. He says, love to G-Wolf. Absolutely, guys. Let's get some love in the live chat to G-Wolf. It is a very, very tough thing to go through. I'm literally going through it at the same time as G-Wolf, so I know exactly what he's going through. And he's had a, you know, horrendous shock and a loss just like me. So... much love to you, G-Wolf, man. Stay strong, brother. And message me anytime you want, dude. And much love to you, Mr. Wolfster. Thank you, Zane. Oh, Bell says, G-Wolf and Pig was my mum's 18-year anniversary Saturday, 17th, for loss like no other. Fucking love you, boys. Hope you boys can, as good as you can be. Thank you, Bell691. I'm sorry to hear for your loss as well, but it's absolutely awful. G-Wolf says, love you guys. Thank you all so much for the love. Hey, no worries, G-Wolf, man. Thank you for all the love over the years, bud. Hey, have a good one, Duke of Rodtown. Thank you so much. Stefan Herringtonio, it's great seeing you back as well. Chris Koo says, you what, Zane? I know we need some serious tumbleweed animation going along the stream whenever Zamiasi comes in the live chat talking absolute nonsense. What's he on about? Avatar and James Cameron for? Do you know what? I think Avatar 3 is going to face a similar fate to that Titanic submarine or whatever that's going on there, mate. It's not going to... Well, I shouldn't joke about that. I hope they're found safe. But, you know, you just made me think of it because of James Cameron. And there's all those times when he went down there looking at that bloody Titanic record, all that sort of stuff. But either way, let's hope Avatar 3 fails for Zamiasi's insubordinance. Anyway, right, okay. So, what am I saying now? You guys have totally derailed me. Right, yeah, Luke Shaw, Agent Luke Shaw at it with Mason Mount there. Right, nice. And also Declan Rice. Right, okay, so let's talk about some of the prospects that we've discussed here. So Maguire going in the opposite direction. Yeah, it could happen. There's also reports that Maguire could be on the way out of Manchester United this summer elsewhere. Here's a report that says that Harry Maguire's agents are trying to convince him to move to Italy. Not just Harry Maguire's agents, but Ten Hag, the coaching staff, the board, the fans, his wife, his family, his mum and dad, everybody apart from Italian football fans are urging him to go to Italy. That's what everybody's doing right now. We're all urging Harry Maguire to do one. So yes, that I see that makes a bit of sense. Maguire's agents are trying to convince him to move to Italy, where he is wanted by Juventus, Inter, and Milan. So take that with a pinch of salt, guys. I would if I was you, because wanted by Juventus, Inter, and Milan. My, how the mighty have fallen. If Serie A, really, all the best teams in Serie A are looking to call upon the slab. Crikey, that tells you a little bit of something, doesn't it? Although, in all fairness, what I would say is that in Italy, in Serie A, it probably is a much better fit for Harry Maguire. He probably would actually excel over there, because it is a little bit of a slower league, and he's a slow player. And because of that, he probably would just benefit from that sort of tempo, you know? And also, if you look at some of the players that have gone over there in recent years that have failed to do it at Manchester United, and like Chris Smalling, for instance, he's had a good time of it. So, you know, it's quite possible that Maguire would find his feet in Serie A. I think it would be a good move for him, actually. Yeah, Rushmono says Maguire would be excellent in Italy. Well, excellent's a little bit of a strong word there, Rushmono. But I think he would do better. I think he would be better in Italy. I do think he would be a much better fit in Italy. For a couple of reasons, like I mentioned. The style of football over there. Plus also just the fact that it's not as good as a league as the Premier League. It's not as quick or as athletic as it used to be. You know, it is. It's definitely slipped down the pecking order a little bit in terms of the quality and the standard. Hey Berber, what's going on, you legend? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for getting in here. Zaymiasi with another super chat. He says, which character would Maguire play in The Godfather? You come to me on the eve of my daughter's wedding, and you ask me which character Maguire would play in The Godfather. I don't know, you know. That's a really, really tough question, mate. I think he would probably play Don Corleone's pussy cat. You know what I mean? I think that would probably make a bit of sense, because he's sort of soft, fuzzy, spoiled, you know, wrapped up in cotton wool, and never does piss all. So I'm going to say he's the cat, mate. He's the cat on Don Corleone's lap. Thank you very much for your really ridiculous comment there, Zamy. I appreciate it, but thank you so much. Nice one. Hey there, Piers Peppard. Mikato, thank you, Mikato, for your highlighted comment. He's been a member for 20 months, this guy. Hashtag 20. Thank you, Mikato. I hope you're keeping well, lad. He says, Pig, sorry to hear about your loss. Thank you, Mikato. Yeah, it's still tough. Still coming to terms with it, to be fair. Still trying to actually digest it, but you know, you guys are keeping me going, and thank you so much for all the nice messages and messages on that post. Sorry if I didn't respond to everybody individually, but you know, just know that I saw them all, and I really appreciate all of the good vibes and the condolences and all that sort of stuff. So thank you, Mikato. Appreciate you, bud. Hope you're keeping well. Burbus has literally seen milk turn quicker than Maguire. How did he become a pro? That's a strange one, isn't it? I mean, I can understand why he became a pro if he was a male prostitute, but that's the only pro that I can imagine him being, to be fair. He doesn't really have all the attributes that you need to be a top level professional footballer. You could see him maybe playing for a lower team such as, you know, Hull City, which he previously did, or Sheffield United. That makes sense. But the fact that we actually spent 80 million quid, more fool us, isn't it, really? We were duped. We actually spent 80 million pounds on that guy. That's the crazy thing about this, is that Harry Maguire moved between clubs from Leicester City to United for 80 million quid. Quite unreal, really. Thank you, Jonathan Jackson. Appreciate you, bud. Hey, Sin Games. Thank you, buddy. Says, looking well, bro. Nice to see you live. Thank you very much, Sin Games. Great to be back, mate. How are you, sir? What a legend you are as well. Great to see you. We're nearly at 100 likes, guys, so keep hitting that thumbs up button. I've got plenty more news to get into, and we will have a big Q&A at the end of the show, but show your support on the stream. It's free to like the video. Share it around. We'll shout out everyone who retweets the show. It's pinned to the top of the live chat. Flying Pig United on Twitter. And get yourself subscribed if you're new to the channel. Tell your friends and family about it. Tell your granny about it. She might like it. So yeah, Maguire to Italy is being talked about. Also, he is being discussed as a potential make weight for a move for Declan Rice over at West Ham, which would be fantastic. like I was saying earlier, the best case scenario is if we gave both of those players to West Ham and we could somehow maybe get Rice for 50 million quid. Because if you're talking about value, we're on about buying Mason Mount now for 55 million quid or somewhere in that region. They've rejected 50 million and they want 65 in total. That's just preposterous for Mason Mount. Much better value for money would be to try and go and get Declan Rice over at West Ham and for us to include Harry Maguire or Scott McTominay in the deal. Ideally, both of them. Get rid of both of them because then that gives you the emphasis to basically have to go and get another top quality midfielder as well. And maybe you could do with keeping Fred. I know Fred's being talked about as maybe moving away to Fulham and interest in Fred from various clubs, and we would reportedly take 20 million for Fred. I'd rather keep Fred than Scotty McTominay, to be fair. So, yeah, get rid of McTominay, get rid of Maguire, and sign Declan Rice. What a fantastic piece of business that would actually be. And we're not really known for doing fantastic pieces of business in recent years. So I think that would be a great bit of manoeuvring there in the transfer window. So I hope it happens, guys. I really do. Just on, we'll get back into this in a minute, but just on some other bits of information we've got. I mean, look, I just want to talk about this for a moment. It's not to do with United, but you've probably seen it. Big news. Ilkay Gundogan to Barcelona. Here we go. Final approval arrived on club side to register him as a new signing. Green light from the player. It's a done deal, signed a few minutes ago. Gundogan has agreed a 2-year deal, valid until June 2025 with an option for a further year. Get in there, my son. Come on. Good to see the back of him, to be fair, mate, because he has been a very good player in the Premier League for several years. I've said this for years and years. He's one of the most underrated players in world football. He's a really, really top player. And just the fact that he's not going to be at City next season is better for everybody else. It really is. De Bruyne is getting on a little bit now. His legs are maybe going to start playing up, hopefully. Maybe 1 or 2 more injuries creeping in. Hopefully this is the demise of City starting to take shape. You know, they've had that incredible generation. I don't think it will be. But maybe coupled with them being penalised or punished a little bit for their outright cheating and blatant rule bending and not adhering to financial fair play and things like that, and the fact that they've actually built themselves up to this point from where they were when, say, Mark Hughes was there, just through years and years and years of cheating, I really hope that they get punished and we start to see a downfall of Man City. But anyway, Gundogan, good to see the back of him. See you later on. Gundogan. He is gone. He's done us a few damages, absolutely, Nick Stevenson. He's a very class player, so the fact that he's gone to Barca, I mean, that's good news for us. It's good news for us. It's good news for everyone in the Premier League, to be fair. He is a really good player for them. So that's good. Absolutely sin game. City are a small fry with Saudi and Qatar in the league. Spot on that. Exactly. It's going to be tougher for them to keep hold of their stranglehold. Once we've got, say, Sheikh Jassim in the club. And also, yeah, like you say, Saudi Arabia with Newcastle United. Zamiassi says, Gundogan should have joined us. I'm fuming. Right, yeah, Zay, nice one. Sorry, that's some more tumbleweed going across the screen there, mate. Are you for real? I mean, okay, yeah. He actually wants to go somewhere that's going to give him a challenge, that's going to potentially win him some trophies. He's not really keen on going to join a complete bunch of North London bottle job merchants, is he? Let's be fair, if he was just going to stay and play in English football, it would have made a lot more sense for him to sign a new deal at Man City, who were understood to be interested in taking him on for a couple more seasons. So, of course, he wasn't ever going to do that. He was a regular at Manchester City. He was scoring in finals. He was being, having all the accolades and getting all the trophies and all the silverware. He's not going to go and give that up to go and join those fucking bunch of North London bottle merchants, Zane. Zane, put the pipe down, lad. It's a good one tonight, whatever you're smoking on, though, but put that down. Put it down. It's not good for your health, honestly. I'm a bit worried about you, Zamiassi, now. Keep the last remaining 2 brain cells you've got intact, please. We need you. We need you. Zamiassi, thank you very much. But what? Okay, right. Let's get on to back onto Man United. Just wanted to mention that because it is big news this evening. But David De Gea. Some more reports coming out about De Gea. There's just in tonight. De Gea and Manchester United are yet to agree on a new contract. The goalkeeper and the club continue to examine their respective options. Let's get into the goalkeeper position now for a little while, guys. So United are understood to be looking at potential replacements for David De Gea. Andre Onana, what's my name, being one of them. Diogo Costa as well, being another one. And there's plenty of options for Manchester United in that area. We could also sign up David De Gea to a new deal. But the case is, at the moment, I got the inside information from Rushmano. Thank you, Rushmano, for giving us all the info from a great source here as well, which basically just gives us an idea of what's going on. So it's understood essentially that United are essentially, you know, we're stalling on a deal with David De Gea at the moment because he's happy to stay. De Gea wants to stay, but Murtough is actively trying to sign at the moment Diogo Costa, and essentially trying to reduce his value. United have a big cash flow problem at the moment, and we don't want to spend the amount of money that we have to spend to renew David De Gea's contract. That's understood to be the situation. So, look, De Gea's on huge money at United, 350k a week or somewhere in that region. It's massive money, and he's going to have to take a pay cut if he's going to stay at Manchester United. And even if we are going to get him to agree to that pay cut, it's going to have to be for, well, significantly less. But also, even then, he might not be the first choice because look, Ten Hag wants to play a certain way. He wants somebody who's got that distribution ability, who's better with his feet. And so we're looking at other options right now. You saw Onana in the Champions League final, and it seems to fit the bill. It seems to be that sort of a player, who's confident with the ball at his feet, that we can build up from the back and play with, rather than just an outright shot stopper like David De Gea. I think David De Gea is incredible. What a season he's had. What a season he's had. Golden Glove, you know, he's undeniable. But essentially, you have to say that if there is a time to part ways with David De Gea, maybe it makes sense now at the end of his current contract for us to go in a different direction and get somebody else. So I'm just going to put it in the live chat. Who would you like to see in between the sticks in the start of the new season, guys? Is it Onana? Is it Costa? Is it somebody else? Is it De Gea still? Let us know in the live chat and have your say. I mean, it seems a shame to just chuck De Gea away, but is he really worth that sort of a money that we're talking about that he's being paid at the moment? It's crazy amount of money for a goalkeeper. He has earned it and proved it time and time again over the years. But now Ten Hag's here, and we're clearly wanting to play a different style, different brand of football. And so he doesn't really fit in with that. That's the only thing. He doesn't really fit in with that. It's like horses for courses, isn't it? Exactly, Rushmano says, basically United don't want to get stuck with De Gea as number one. Precisely. Onana says Compost Smurf. Onana, what's my name? Precisely, Boomy. Then we can sing that song as well. Nick Stevens says Onana or De Gea. Tafiso Mbata says Costa, just because he's younger than Onana. Yeah, so Costa's what, like 23 or something? Costa is a very young goalkeeper with bags of potential. And yeah, that is good, obviously. I mean, if you're that good of a goalkeeper at 23, give him a few years and he should be one of the absolute world's best. So yeah, I understand what you're saying there. Duncan Belifo says Onana. John Boy says Onana. A. Meyer says Onana. Compost says we could give Dave's wages to Kane or Osimhen, hopefully. Well, you have to remember that we'd have to sign another goalkeeper, though. So the goalkeeper that we signed probably would not be on anywhere near the wages that David De Gea is on, because he came in as an 18, 19-year-old, and he's just sort of, we've needed him so much over the years that he's constantly had his deal improved at Manchester United. But you'd have to say we're going to have to spend a significant amount of money on another goalkeeper, not just the contract here, but also the initial fee. There is going to have to be an initial fee that we pay to one of these clubs to buy, say, Onana. It's going to cost not a cheap amount at all, really. So you've got to factor that in. So from a financial point of view, maybe it kind of makes sense for De Gea to take a pay cut and for us to stick with him for another couple of seasons. But from a Ten Hag point of view, from a Manchester United, what's better for the team point of view, perhaps now's the time to make the cut, get him gone, and sign somebody else who might just fit in with what he's trying to do. So we might spend the money, but we would have to go and do that if De Gea goes. That's it. He's just going to walk, and then we've got to go and spend that money somewhere else. So it gives us another problem area of the team, rather than just being able to focus on getting a striker and a midfielder and this kind of stuff. Now we've got to go and get a goalkeeper. So it does concern me a little bit. It's really not an ideal situation. I mean, we still have, you know, Henderson at the football club. It's understood that Ten Hag really doesn't really like Henderson that much. Who knows if this is legit true? But there are reports here from Samuel Lutgers that says sources suggest that Dean Henderson has pissed off Eric Ten Hag, and there is next to no indication he is under consideration for a promotion for number one next season. Yeah, so nobody's thinking about Henderson for United next season. I think Henderson really needs to be sold. We need to get rid of him to Nottingham Forest or whoever. Get him gone for 20 million quid. Get him off our books. He's on big money as well. I forget the figure now. Isn't he on like 150k or 130k a week or something mad for a backup goalkeeper? I think it's in. I can't quite remember the figure now. I remember at the time when we signed him thinking, what? We're really paying that much money to a backup goalie, but he's on big money anyway. And also he's understood to be not the most positive individual in the dressing room. There was even talks of him being a mole a little while ago and leaking information out about the squad and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, don't really fancy giving him the opportunity, guys. What would you say about Henderson? Keep or sell Henderson? Rushmano says United has scouted Costa for a full year. That's fantastic. So that gives a great indication of where United are at really in their interest in Costa. I think he would be a good signing also. Yep, Jamza Highlight says Onana would cost you about 50 million quid. Exactly, so you've got to factor that in. Are Man United prepared to go and spend massive money on a goalkeeper when we've already got a pretty good goalkeeper? Sell says Leanne Reeson. Sell says Boomy and Nick Stevenson and Compost Smurf and Duncan and Singate Madhouse. Give him to Oxfam, says Berber. Yeah, spot on, Rushmano. Sell to Forest for 25 million. So I was loving the chat last night on the channel. We were talking about players that United could sell. And there is actually quite a big list of players United could sell. It's whether or not we've got the bottle and the cojones to actually do it. And the ability to do it. Because we should be able to move on a lot of players this summer. As well as sign new players. There's talks of, we can't spend that much money because of financial fair play and all that guff. We're such a huge commercial football club, we can generate a lot of cash, which means we can spend a lot. But we should be able to generate between 80 and 100 million pounds worth of transfer kitty just from getting rid of players that are currently on our books. Might sound a little bit like an airy-fairy dream world, but it should happen. If you think about McTominay, what's McTominay's value, even though he's shite? It's at least 20 million, I reckon, in this current climate, at least. Maguire's an absolute joke of a player, but he's still worth 30 million because of his homegrown status. The fact he's an England stalwart centre-back there, and he's a good, decent player, you know? He's not a bad player. He's got to be worth 30 mil. Tony Martial may limp around on one leg for half of the season, but he's still got some value. I'm not saying he's worth a huge amount because he is such an injury-prone melter and he really doesn't provide you that much because he's never fit. But 15 million maybe, 20 million at a push, somebody's got to want a bit of Tony action. Problem is, all of these players are on big money, so it prices them down. It prices them out of the market for certain clubs as well because just the sheer amount of money that they're on. But Martial, Maguire, you've also got McTominay, you've got Henderson, who you could get 20 million for at least. You've got other players as well, like Telles has just come back from loan. You've got Bailly, Eric Bailly, a few more players you could sell. So there's quite a lot of money that United could generate from just getting rid of the surplus gash players right now, if you ask me. I'm thinking at least 80 million quid we could get added to our transfer kitty from player sales. But we actually need to do that, though. It's easier said than done with our board and everything that seems to be, you know, causing us problems. I mean, we just sold Zidane Iqbal for £1 million, which is ridiculous. Which is absolutely ridiculous. Don't understand that. The Hoot Man says fire sale. Yeah, well, there you go. Exactly the Hoot Man. Fire sale. Get rid of them all. Sell them, but don't sell them for peanuts like you did Zidane Iqbal. That makes no sense at all. I know he's not a good enough player to get into the squad and he won't be playing, but you could have got more money for him or at the very least loaned him out, let him develop, maybe increased his price tag in the future by giving him opportunities, giving him game time somewhere else, and then you could sell him for more money in the future. To actually have him go for £1 million, it's just ridiculous, to be fair. So we seem to get bent over a lot. So it wouldn't surprise me if we ended up selling Scott McTominay for a bag of chips and a can of Iron Brew, and Harry Maguire. Wouldn't surprise me if we sold him and did a swap deal for his brother. You know, we are poor at that. But hopefully we can generate at least 80 million quid from some of these players that we've currently got on the books. It would be nice. 10 to 12 players out mean minimum 200 million pounds, says Paul. Well, that's really wishful thinking, Paul, but I like your style. You know, we should have a big clear out this summer. It should be a case of getting rid of a lot of the gash players. Yeah, there you go. Donny van der Beek's another one, Rushmano. Absolutely. What's he really going to provide for us going forward? Not a lot. He's just going to be another hanger-on who's probably going to get injured at some point. He's not really got the bottle or the bollocks to break into this United side. Get rid. What's the point of keeping him? Waste of money. Donny van der Beek, Telles, McAverage, Henderson, Maguire would all get decent fees. Precisely, Rushmano. So we could have quite easily generate quite a bit of cash there. Where did Iqbal go, says Real Bro? So FC Utrecht over in the Eredivisie. It's a little bit of a strange one, but because we don't necessarily have like a buyback clause, there is a reported sell-on clause. I think it's 35 or 40%. There may well be some other clauses that we aren't privy to, but essentially it's a really ridiculously low ball offer for a young prospect. He's never going to get in the first team. He's a bit of a physical melter. He needs to develop, but he's only 20. For a 20-year-old Man United hot prospect, you would expect to get at least 8 mil or something. So we definitely got bent over there, and we allowed it to happen. We just said, yeah, have him for 850k or whatever it is. The few add-ons and stuff. It's actually a pathetic piece of business from Man United. Like, despicable, really. We should have got more for him than that. And in all honesty, I personally think we shouldn't have even sold him. We should have just loaned him. Yeah, he's not going to get in the team, but loan him out, give him game time and opportunity somewhere. He might surprise you. You never know. What do you think, guys? Maybe I'm wrong. Let us know in the live chat. Zidane Iqbal, keep, sell, or loan? What would you have done? Sold him for $1 million, kept him in the squad, or loaned him out for a season? Let us know what you guys think. Have a little vote in the chat. But for me, the loan makes the most sense because then you might increase his value over time. He will get opportunities to maybe impress you, and you're not losing out on a potentially decent player for no money at all. Hey, thank you, Exclusive, for getting in here with your highlighted member comment. Good to see you, mate. How you doing? What do you think about your signing Havertz then, bud? Arsenal scummer in the chat. What's going on, Exclusive? How you doing? He says, much love, dude. Hope you're doing well, bro. Not too shabby, Exclusive. All the better for seeing you, dear. Thank you for being a member for 32 months as well. Hashtag 32 for the Don Exclusive. Thank you very much, mate. I'm not doing too shabby. We smashed 100 likes on the stream, everyone. Thank you, guys and gals, for hitting the thumbs up. Rush Mollis says apparently his form dipped massively, then asked for a move. Yeah, well, what form? You know what I mean? What form? Because he just didn't really get given that many opportunities. I don't think he was a great player or anything, but he had some potential. He seemed like he had some raw talent, so it just seems weird to let him go for so low. Not too bad, Rashat V. How are you, sir? Would have loaned him, get money and develop. Precisely, A. Meyer. Loan, says Real Bro and Nick. Sell, says Duncan. Loan 100% says Exclusive. Loan, says Madhouse. DC Skyline says sell. ZX says sell for more. Yeah, I don't know why that's not even on the cards really for us to sell him for a bit more cash. It's weird, isn't it? But anyway, there you go. So we've actually gone off on a big tangent here about Zidane Iqbal somehow. I'm bored of talking about Zidane Iqbal. He's actually a meaningless player. It doesn't actually matter to us, does it? The reason I was talking about it because it's another example of us being poor at shifting on players and getting good deals. Now, the other players we could sell, like McTominay, Maguire, all these guys that I was mentioning, Martial, they're all on huge money. That's the problem why it's going to be difficult maybe to get decent money for them. But we should be able to get rid of them and get some money for them and just get them off the books and start afresh. That's what Ten Hag needs to try and do this summer. Chloe Jenkins, thanks for your £2 super chat there. Let's get some love in the chat there for Chloe. Thank you so much. Says Donny van der Beek could end up the new Phil Jones. Don't say that. Don't say that. That'd be absolutely horrendous, wouldn't it? If we just get another player who's going to hang on for years and years like a turd that won't flush. We definitely don't want that. No. But, I don't know, he kind of seems to me like the sort of player that wants to play. You saw that whole chewing gum gate incident where he chucked his chewing gum out the pram, where he wasn't subbed on, and he wants to play. So, I don't know, if there's an offer, I could see him going back to Ajax, say. Let's say Man United wants to do a deal with Ajax for a certain player, whoever it may be. You know, Ten Hag's obviously got some links there, doesn't it? I don't know, a Timber type player or something. We might see Donny van der Beek used as a make weight to go in the opposite direction. That would make a heck of a lot of sense. I couldn't agree more with all the people in the live chat saying Donny needs to go, though. Because what role's he going to have in this squad next season? Very little role, if at all. So he's definitely a surplus to requirements player. And also his development's just been massively halted. He developed well at Ajax. He was doing well at Ajax, but coming to United, he's done nothing. Some of it's not his fault. He wasn't gifted a lot of opportunities by Ollie. And he wasn't really, fit under Ten Hag to be able to really kick on. He got that big injury. I feel for the guy. I do kind of feel for the guy. That's another reason, I suppose, Chloe, why you think he could be the new Phil Jones. Could get those big injuries, which could keep him from going, keep him from being sold, that kind of thing. So, yeah, it's a problem, isn't it? You've got to try and get rid while you can of these guys. Greg L., thank you very much for the super chat, mate. Dude, let's get some love in there. He's just got a whole host of love hearts in the chat there. Thank you, Greg L., man. He says, welcome back, Pig. Missed you loads. Thank you very much, Grego. I missed you too, bud. That's very kind of you, man. He sent me about, 100 love hearts right there. Let's just get some love in the live chat to reciprocate. Thank you so much there, Mr. Greg L. Appreciate you big time, lad. Thank you. It's good to be back. Appreciate you, dude. And Zay Miyasi with another 9.99 super chat. He says, Pig, what's more boring? The new Zelda game or the Champions League final? Well, I'll be honest with you, Zane. I haven't played the new Zelda game. I haven't played many Zelda games. The only Zelda game I actually ever did play was Zelda DX on the Game Boy Color back in the day, mate. Randomly just happened to play that one. Never really played Zelda that much myself. But if I got to be honest, I got to say, yeah, the Champions League final, I suppose. But you know what pisses me off about the Champions League final, though? It's that City were there for the taking, weren't they? Inter rattled the woodwork. Lukaku, aka the absolute donkey extraordinaire, melted in front of goal. It could have been Inter's night. It really could have gone either way, that game. That's what's so annoying about it, is that City were pretty fantastic most of the season. They were not that great against United in the FA Cup final, I don't think, although they were the better side, I think, but we could have had them. It could have happened. And in the Champions League final, they were pretty poor by their standards. Inter Milan could have done them, you know. So I was very disappointed with the outcome of that. I really thought Inter were going to do it at one point. They were decent, weren't they? They were very decent, and it looked like they were just in the game just as much as Man City. Like, they really did get at them and ruffle their feathers, and they didn't allow City to do what they usually do. And City just didn't really turn up and look like the City that we know that they can play like. They were pretty poor, actually, by their standards. So it was very frustrating that they managed to win the game in the end. Obviously, it was a good goal, but yeah, that was boring, wasn't it? That was annoying. And it's just a shame that they've got that absolute donkey Lukaku up the top of the pitch. Yeah, exactly. Compost Mer says Lukaku put in a world-class left centre-back for City. Absolutely. Hey, Spooky Ghoul, how are you tonight? What's going on? But yeah, anyway, very disappointing. Hello, T-Mill, how are you doing? Thank you very much for the super chat there, though, Zane. And also, JRE's got one in there. He says, welcome back, Pig. The transfer window's already annoying. Yeah, big time. We're being left behind. Other teams are doing business. Even shitty Arsenal are doing business, mate. You know, they're signing up players. Even if they're crap players, but they're signing players. Other teams are doing business. United have this big glazer cloud hanging over us, where we're still waiting for the full sale of this football club to happen so we can really kick on. And, of course, if we do get Sheikh Jassim in, it should be time to spend. We should see business being done pretty quickly. And there are reports that it's not even really that's holding us up in terms of signing the first initial couple of players this window. It's just the fact that the Glazers are so skinted and they don't really want to go out there and spend the money necessary to actually sign players these days. You're seeing how much players going for at the moment in the window. Shitty Havertz, 65 mil and stuff like that. It's unreal. So these are huge amounts of money being talked about for players. Right, let's get on to the next order of business. But we just talked about the goalkeeper position. You know, Henderson's probably going to be sold. David De Gea may well be departing Manchester United this summer. It's a shame. He's been such a great player for us, but he is on big money. He'd have to take a significant pay cut. We might take that option because we know what the club's like in terms of saving money. And it is cheaper to get De Gea signed up to another couple of year contract than it is really to go out there and spend 50 million on a Onana, for instance, and then have to pay him almost as much as David De Gea anyway. So we might just cheap out and go with De Gea. But if it's down to Ten Hag and Ten Hag's got the final say, I think he may well look to move him on. It's a problem. So yes, De Gea is not agreed at the moment. Here's the report from today. Manchester United are yet to agree on a new contract. The goalkeeper in the club continue to examine their respective options. So I could see him going. Let's ask the chat just quickly before we move on to the next topic. Do you think that De Gea will stay or go? Not what you want, but what do you think will happen? Do you think we'll keep him and he'll stay? Or do you think we will let him go and that'll be it and we'll go and sign a new goalkeeper? Sing Game says go. Boomy says go. You think he'll stay, says Dean M. Go, says Madhouse. Hopefully he goes, says Alex Flames. What's this, Rushmano? Sorry, I just got a bit more information coming in on the Vine here, and we've got another report here just in. Mason Mount's camp in the last few hours have told Chelsea again that they are not signing a new deal. Chelsea have therefore dropped the price to 60 to 65 million pounds via Fabrizio Romano. So, again, just so much money involved with these signings these days. I mean, he doesn't represent good... Just walk away on Mason Mount. It's a mad piece of business that we're talking about doing here. 60 million quid for Mason Mount. It's way too much money. Just hell no to Mason Mount, guys. I've had enough of all this chat. Let me get that up on the screen, guys, so you can see what we're talking about here. But the latest report here that's just come out tonight is this. Oh, that's very small. Let's make that bigger. That's what she said. Mason, not to me. Mason Mount's. Mason Mount's. Here's the news. Mason Mount's camp in the last few hours have told Chelsea again they are not signing a new deal. Chelsea have therefore dropped the price to 60 to 65 million pounds. Drop the price. I mean, they're taking the piss, aren't they? If they really think that we're going to pay that amount of money, they're off their head. Surely 50 million quid was the absolute limit that we should be paying for that guy. If we pay 60 to 65 million quid, we are absolute fools. Tell you that now. Man United's board, our recruitment team, we're idiots. If we pay 60 to 65 million for Mason Mount, I don't care he's 24 and he's English. He's just going to amount to being another Dele Alli melter. Somebody's had a couple of decent years and fundamentally will turn out to be guff. That's honestly how I feel about him. He's not worth the money. He's not worth the hassle. Move on to somebody else, please. So there you go. Oh, sorry, Zay Miasi. Thank you for another super chat. He says, sent you a super chat before. Sorry, Zane. Let's see what you say. He says, comments on Crocodile Dundee, manager of Spurs. That's not a knife. This is a knife. Hey, it's the perfect fit for Tottenham, I think, to be honest with you saying that. Perfect fit. Just somebody who's come over from a melting league. And I think it's a good fit for them, to be fair. Bottle jobs galore. You know, so yeah, I mean, that's my opinion. I just think it's a perfect fit for Spurs. They can continue melting on, can't they? Nice one. I mean, he's supposed to be a good coach, but you got to look at the club he's come from. It's a different sort of a vibe. I think it's poor. I think it's a poor managerial appointment, to be fair, but it's very Spurs-esque. Thank you very much for that, by the way, Zamiasi. And Jonathan Gallagher getting in with one. He says, welcome back, pig mate. Thank you, Jonathan Gallagher, mate. It's good to be back, lad. I appreciate all the love. A lot of people getting their love in here tonight, man, and I really do appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Jamsa says, that's a bargain pig for Mount, in my opinion, if we got 60 million for Havertz. I'm not so sure, you know, Jamsa. I don't think it's worth that amount. Rajat says, Mount, max 40. Exclusive says, 55 million is too much. Hey, Ulf793, what's good, lad? Are they waiting for a Saudi to bid or something? Maybe so, Berber, lad. Thank you for that, Zami. I actually appreciate you. 375k a week for a purple patch Pratt Rashford is sickening, says ZX Flames. Wow. Okay, a lot of people would agree with you. So he's not actually signed his deal just yet, ZX Flames. There's a few factors with Rashford why he's going to get big money. He's a star on and off the pitch. He's commercially viable on and off the pitch. He's a nice guy on and off the pitch. Not that means you're worth any more money, but you know what I mean. He's homegrown. He's English. He's Manc born and bred. He's been on the back of his best season so far in a Man United shirt. He did have a couple of crap ones before that, and he did tail off at the end of the season as well. But no doubt, you can't deny, what was it, 30 goals in all competitions that he got? He's going to get big money. He will get big money. I don't think he will get as much as you've just said, 375k. We'll see. He's yet to sign a new deal just yet. But I think he will get huge money. I think he'll be on the verge of being one of the highest paid players in the club, if not the highest paid player. In fact, there is a bit of news, according to The Guardian. Man United are close to reaching an agreement with Rashford over a new long-term deal. The report suggests that discussions between us and the academy graduates reps are nearing a positive conclusion. He's set to ignore interest from League One's PSG, and it's understood that he will be one of the top earners at the club, and it's being reported, around about £375,000 a week could be the figure. It is too much money. It is too much money, no doubt. I mean, I honestly do think, though, if you look at where football's going and what players are paid, he's already on 200k a week right now. That's what he gets paid. He's got 12 months left on a deal where he's getting paid 200k a week. You can't allow a player like Marcus Rashford to go for free. He would have options on the table as well, like we said, from PSG, who would pay him probably more than United. So you've got to ask him to stay at United, a club that he loves and that made him, and that he's got that affinity with, for a little bit less than he could go and get elsewhere. He could probably go and get bloody $1 million a week playing in Saudi Arabia or something. He doesn't want to do that, I don't think. He seems pretty switched on in that sense. But he's 25 years old now. This is going to be his big bumper contract. This will probably be the biggest contract of his career. So I'm not saying he's worth 375k a week, but he is worth 300k a week. Maybe even a little bit more in this current climate, especially when you factor in he's already on 200k a week. And that was some years ago we signed that deal, and he's progressed and he's had a really great season. So you can't expect him to really go backwards or not give him too much of a pay rise, because he has developed and he's older and he's coming to the prime years of his career, and there's other teams that are interested. I'll ask the live chat though. I reckon about 300k a week is what he should be signing a deal for, but I reckon he'll get a bit more than that. But there are reports 375k is what he's being sort of discussed as the potential that he will get. But what do you think he's worth a week, guys? I'm going to say 300k a week, considering he's already on 200 now. Chloe Jenkins, thanks for your super chat here, Chloe. She says, got to be happy it means more entertainment from Expressions. Absolutely, yeah, more implosions coming from Expressions, the Spurs scummer. Absolutely. 100% Chloe Jenkins. Well said. Absolutely. Thank you so much there, Chloe Jenkins, for the £5 super chat. I hope you've been keeping well, by the way. And Johnny Gallagher with another super chat says, taking the mickey that much for his first big season. Okay, yeah, it was his first big season, I guess. I mean, he did have a couple of really good seasons as a younger player before he had that really bad spell of 18 months where he was awful. So, you know, it's one of those, isn't it, Jonathan? I mean, it is too much money, but what's the alternative? You let him go for free and he goes and signs for a rival or goes and signs for a top European club? I would imagine that almost every single football club in world football would be interested in Marcus Rashford for free, which is the situation you face in 1 year's time, or even 6 months' time, and be able to discuss with foreign league teams to go and sign for free. That's the situation you face, is to lose a Manc born and bred Marcus Rashford for nothing. So it's always cheaper to sign a player up, give him a signing-on bonus, and pay him a big wage than it is to go out there and replace him. And Man United know that. So that for that reason, I think we will give him a huge amount. Rajat says 310 to 315 is reasonable, mate. Compost says 375 will be if he hits all the bonus requirements. Yeah, that sounds about right. 150k tops including bonuses, says Berber. Right, okay, Berber. So what you're expecting him to do is to sign a contract for 50k less than what he's on now. I know that's not what you're saying. You're just saying that's what he's worth. So I feel you. I know you're not a fan of him. I respect it. You know, that's your opinion. I think he's good. I think he's proved himself this season what a match winner he can be for United. He's also continued in some of the big games and some of the latter part of the season to show that he's also capable of going missing in games as well. He still has that in his locker. But look, he's 25 now. From the age of 25 to 30 should be Marcus Rashford's best time in his career. We've done the hard part now. He's developed to a point. Ten Hag given him that confidence and that boost in his career. Now we should start to see the best from Marcus Rashford. But I feel you. Bell says he's on 250, 275k now. That was what we gave him for a 10-goal season, so he's lucky he didn't get 500. Precisely. Berber says if he loves United, why flirt with PSG and want nearly 400k in wages? Well, he's kind of worth it, though. It's not necessarily that, you know, he's asking for an obscene amount. It's like you want what you're worth. And I think if you consider all avenues right now and what players are paid and what he could get elsewhere if there was an offer from other teams, you've got to give him parity. You've got to give him somewhere in that region for him to be happy. That's just how it is, you know. It's like even if you work at Sainsbury's, if you can get an extra few quid an hour more working at Tesco's, doing exactly the same job, does it really, even if you love working at Sainsbury's, it's a bit of a kick in the bollocks, isn't it? If they come after you, you know, you've had a few years review there and they ask you to sign up for a new deal and you can get less than you can go into a rival. It just doesn't really add up. So I think there is value in Marcus Rashford. He's 25 and all the previous reasons I've mentioned. He's got a lot of value to him. And he means a lot to Manchester United. He means a lot to the fans because of his homegrown nature and the fact he's Manc born and bred. So he's in a very powerful position in that sense. He could easily go and sign for a Saudi Arabian club for 800k a week or something. Any club in world football would take him on a free. So we kind of got to give him what he's worth. And I think in this current climate, he is worth a huge amount of money. He is. Because we're not having to pay a big fee up front to sign him, are we? Because he's already here. Callum Gill, thank you very much for your highlighted member comment and being a member for 1 year. He's been a member for a whole year, this guy. He says, hi, Pig, hope you're okay. Thank you, Callum Gill. I'm doing all right, mate. Let's get some love in there for Callum. Thank you. Hashtag 12 for the lad. I'm not doing too badly, lad. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rushmano. He says, smash a like for the pig. Yeah, we're nearly at 150 likes, guys. So keep hitting that thumbs up button. Smash the like on the stream. It does help us out and it does help us boost up on the algorithm and help us to compete with clickbait, stains, and corporations. So hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done so. Smash the subscribe button if you're new to the channel for your first time here. Get yourself subscribed. It's free to subscribe. Also, share it around on social media. In fact, I'll read the tweets out in a minute. It's pinned to the top of the live chat. Go and give us a retweet. I'll shout out everyone who gives us a retweet in a minute's time. Cheers for everyone who's already done that. It's at the top of the chat. Rushmano says Manchester City paying Haaland with bonuses 860k per week. I've heard reports of that. Sounds absolutely ridiculous, doesn't it? What an insane amount. But, I mean, if you're talking about the amount of goals he scores, 36 goals a season, and he's only 22, it's pretty ridiculous. And they've got the money to do it because they're cheats. Zamiassi, thank you very much for the $9.99 super chat. He says, why is Neville such a champagne socialist? attacking the Saudis over money, but takes money from Qatar. It's all money now, no morals. Fair one. So he did take money from Qatar, didn't he? Going over the World Cup and covering it and that kind of thing, Zayn. I think his point is really that Saudi Arabia has the potential to ruin football in a way, to weaken the Premier League product. It actually does, because they've got so much money over there. It's like it's on a different level, and they're prepared to pay huge money. I mean, Benzema is getting, I heard he's getting 200 million euros a year. That's ridiculous, isn't it? What? How is that even feasible? And we know what Ronaldo's on. It just doesn't really, it's too much money. I mean, I kind of agree. It's an open market, but I kind of agree in a way with what Gary Neville's saying. It's got the potential to ruin English football, or to certainly hurt English football. If Saudi Arabia, with all their billions, are just able to go and pilfer all of these players from English football teams because they're prepared to pay them a heck of a lot more money, before you know it, the Saudi League has got a lot of great talent in the world. And, I know that's it. It's, it's supply and demand. It's an open market, all that stuff. But I want the Premier League to remain the best league in the world. And if you just allow everyone to be pilfered by Saudi Arabian teams and then go for insane amounts of money, it does weaken our product. So, I don't know. I mean, I kind of understand where he's coming from on that one, Zane. But, I do kind of understand where he's coming from. But, yeah, fair enough. I mean, he is a bit of a hypocrite in that sense. But, I mean, look, Ruben Neves, 26 years of age, going over there. There's something wrong with that. It's terrible. It's such a shame to see a young player who's got such ability and has such potential going to a league like that, where, I get it with Ronaldo. I get it with players who are a little bit long in the tooth. Kante, I get it. But in regards to players who still have the best years ahead of them, it makes little sense. His dream of playing in those Champions League finals and things like that, they're gone. He's now going to be playing in the Saudi Arabian League. It's just poor. I think it's poor for his career. It's not poor for his bank account. If he just considers football to be a job and a way of making money, it's the best move for him. And if it happened to me, I'd have to think about it. But certainly, in regards to his footballing legend and his career and his legacy, he's done himself dirty there. And that's what's going to happen with a lot of these players. They're going to have their heads turned by the big bucks and the huge money coming in from Saudi Arabia. And I don't like it. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's on. We've got the best league in the world, and players should want to play in this league because it's the best league in the world. And if you're not careful, sooner or later, if they keep signing all these players and sending the big money over for these guys, it's gonna turn into a top league, because they'll just have all the top talent, and then it waters down the Premier League. Spooky Gore, thank you very much for your member comment, being a member here for 10 months. Get in there, you legendess. How you doing, Spooky Gore? Thank you so much. It's glad to have you back. Throwing up the devil horns. Let's get a hashtag 10 in there for Spooky Gore. I hope you've been keeping well these last few weeks, Spooky, and looking after the Ulster. Yeah, I'm very glad to be back, Spooky. It has been not nice not streaming, because I love streaming and I've always enjoyed doing this channel and talking about Manchester United Review Legends and playing FIFA and stuff like that as well. And I haven't been able to do it the last few weeks because of what's been going on. So it has been a bit, almost a bit like having cabin fever, if you know what I mean, the last few weeks. But I wasn't really up to streaming and stuff. But now I'm back, and it's great to be back. Thank you so much. Get in there, Spooky guys. Get a hashtag 10 in the live chat. Thanks for being a member. Zayn Miassi says, how much? How much would the Saudis pay for the fridge? I don't even think they're mad enough to pay for Harry Maguire a significant amount, mate. I'll be honest. I mean, don't know. I mean, maybe just for novelty meme vibes, somebody might want to go and get him over there. But I don't even know if Saudi Arabia would want him. That's how bad Harry Maguire is. I really just don't see the appeal in him. Doesn't make any sense for them to go and sign Harry Maguire. I guess he is a star, but doesn't that weaken their league if they get Harry Maguire on paper? They've got Cristiano Ronaldo and Neves and these guys over there. They sign Harry Maguire. Doesn't that make their product seem a little bit worse on paper? I don't know. Just saying, Maguire's not the big name in terms of being a quality player that he perhaps was when we signed him for 80 million quid. He looked like he was actually going to be a very good player at that stage. But now we know he's not. So we know he's going to be, I don't think he adds a lot to the Saudi League is all I'm saying. I don't think we get any more from them. But hey, look, if they want to come in and bid for him, please do. Please do indeed. Please do indeed. Thank you, Zane, for that one, lad. Right, I'm just going to shout out everyone who's retweeted us. We have got more United news to discuss in a moment, so I will get into it. But we had 7 retweets. Thank you to the 7 retweeters here. transfers underscore UTD, aka Matty Rushmano. Thank you very much, Matty, for the retweet there, bro. Stu, Martin, Vincent Bullock, Boomy, CK91, Sin Games as well. Thank you so much, legends, for retweeting us on the Twitter there. Every little helps. Let me just check out Rushmano's updates. We've got a couple of updates coming in here. And yeah, we talked about it a bit earlier on in the stream today. But also there are reports coming out that United also have an interest in Adrian Rabiot still. It's a no from me, Carol, in regards to Adrian Rabiot. But he's still on the table. We might have to do business with his mum/agent, which is a bit frustrating. But yeah, he's apparently a potential squad player signing for us this summer. He doesn't inspire me whatsoever. It's a no from me, but there you go. That is reported. What else have we got here that's coming through here? Let's just have a look at some of these latest updates we've seen. Also, it's reported that United will not sanction any spending until the takeover is complete. And that is pushing boss Ten Hag's patience and after identifying targets months ago. Yeah, this is what I wanted to talk about actually at the start of the show. So Ten Hag is reportedly becoming more frustrated at the situation. The window's been open a little while now. Other teams are doing business. And United still aren't able to sign a player. Largely because of the situation we're in with new owners and the issues we're facing with the Glazers actually getting out of the football club. So there are some fresh reports today that in regards to the Glazer situation, I'll just get into that for a moment. But basically, there are now reports that the Glazer family are finally on the same page. Previously, it was understood that a couple of the Glazers wanted to stay in some capacity at United, which is why the Sir Jim Ratcliffe situation was where it was, which was reported as being quite likely that that could happen also, because a couple of Glazers wanted to keep their stake in Manchester United and stay. But reports of the latest situation are that all the Glazers are finally on the same page with the increase that Sheikh Jassim has made in his bid to buy 100% of the football club. And so therefore it is looking more likely now that Sheikh Jassim will win the football club and will buy the club from the Glazers, and they will be gone 100%, which is great news if that's the case. But again, we're just waiting to find out what the situation may be. But it is very frustrating because Ten Hag is just playing the waiting game of being able to actually plan properly for the season and recruit players. And we're having to wait for this business going on above his head, which he can't really do anything about at the moment. It's down to the shithouse Glazers and obviously Sheikh Jassim and Sir Jim and these guys having their negotiations with the club. So look, the wheels are in motion. Hopefully it happens before the end of the month, but we've been saying that for a long time now. So we want it to happen sooner rather than later so we can start moving on ahead with this squad for the season. But who knows, guys? Who knows? But that is the latest update, really. Ten Hag's growing frustrated and we're just waiting for the sale news. Thank you, Chloe Jenkins, for another super chat. You guys are going in there raw tonight. Can we get some raw emojis in there, please, for Chloe Jenkins? And also some hashtag Glazers out. And get some green and gold emojis in the chat as well. Because it is pretty disgraceful what they've been doing. They're literally just like whoring us out at the moment to get a few extra shekels. And it's very frustrating. Chloe says, let's get real. The Super League has not gone away. The Saudis know it. So does Jassim after World Cup. They want in. I wouldn't be surprised, Chloe. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, it's not going away. You've still got bastard scumbags and that kind of stuff leading the charge in regards to the Super League. It could happen, couldn't it? But I would like to think that the history that English football has, we won't be getting involved with any of that. I think, though, you run the risk of being left behind, don't you? If there's this new Super League and all the top teams in Europe and even around the world agree to compete in that league and English clubs, because of our history and traditions, go, no, we're not agreeing to that, then we run the risk of being left behind somewhat. So, I don't know. I hate to agree with you because it's a horrible prospect, us playing in the Super League. But that's not going away anytime soon. I do think it will be a possibility for the future that there could be a Super League that comes into fruition, yeah. The owners are greedy, says Jonathan. Absolutely. Scumbags. Right, what else have I got to discuss? I've got a couple more things to discuss here, guys, and then we're going to get into the live chat for a Q&A. So, yeah, Andre Onana, we've mentioned it earlier. I didn't get this up on the screen, though, but apparently Andre Onana has been sounded out about a move to Man United as they continue to await a final decision on De Gea's future. So we're waiting for a bit more on him. Also, look, Kim Min-jae, who was a prospect for Manchester United to sign. Obviously, it came out a few days ago that Bayern Munich was really the most likely destination for him to go to in the end. But here's some reports from Fabrizio Romano from this evening that says the key point on Kim Min-jae deal, nothing will be finalised until Kim completes the military service in South Korea. Bayern have almost agreed personal terms with Kim and his agents on a deal until 2028, as called last week. Still nothing signed or clause triggered. Patience. So technically, guys, this guy's still available. Technically, Manchester United could go and hijack a deal for Kim Min-jae, and we should do that, really, especially if we're going to get rid of that human slab Maguire. We should go and get Kim Min-jae. So, look, it seems like he's almost nailed on for Bayern, but we could maybe do a little cheeky hijacking. Let's get a hashtag hijack in the live chat if you think that Man United should try our utmost to try and sign Kim Min-jae. Seems a shame, doesn't it? We've been, again, this is, I think, down to the Glazer shithousery. We had a window of opportunity here. We could have easily gone and got this guy a little while ago, but we left the path clear for other teams to come in and get him because of the reluctance to do the sale, because of the fact we can't really move ahead with our plan for the season, because we don't know who our owners are going to be. And so we've sort of had to delay these transfer dealings, and this is what's happened. It's a disgrace. Luan France, hope you're good tonight as well, says hijack. Tafisa says we will get Kim. Well, I hope you're right, bud. Yeah, that's it. Legacy says he's not going to United. Bayern will get him, sadly. Well, he's definitely odds on to join Bayern at the moment. Rush Mano says Kim Min-jae buyout clause starts on the 1st of July and ends on the 15th of July. So there you go. Man United need to get our skates on. We want Kim, says Alex Core. Arsenal paying 65 for Kai Havertz. I know that is laughable, Ravens. What an absolute joke. Joshua says, Pig, who do you think United will get first as transfer to United? Unfortunately, I think it'll be Mason Mount. What do you reckon, guys? Who's our first signing this summer? Unfortunately, I think it'll be Mason. Don't really want him, but that's what I think is going to happen. Also, Nico Barella, Manchester United in talks with Inter Milan over Nicolo Barella deal. Now, he is a player I'd love to see United sign. Great midfielder, bags of talent, the right age, coming to the best years of his career. Spot on. That is a deal I'd like to see us done. Much more than, say, Rabiot. We are going to have to pay for him, though, a significant amount. But, yeah, I would love to see a cheeky little bit of Barella action coming. Mount says Rajat. Mount says Rushmano. Rabiot says Big T. Mark Egan says, do you think City will be found guilty of 115 financial fair play charges? Yes, they're guilty as sin, aren't they? We saw it for years and years and years. It's not the recent times necessarily, because they've actually been able to generate cash in the last few years. They've had a lot of success, and they've signed less players, I would say, in the last couple of years than they were previously. But if you look at how much they spent in the years leading up to when, even before Pep was there, it was insane amounts more than they were actually generating. And it was clear what they were doing was overinflating their income and their commercial revenue by having money moved from essentially other companies that the owners own, moving it into Manchester City and sponsoring themselves and justifying their expenditure by increasing the amount of commercial revenue they have. Basically, it's basically money laundering, isn't it? It's essentially fraud. That's really what it is. So everybody knows that. Everybody can see that. And it's blatant. So I really hope that the findings that they've got, I really hope the charges that they've leveled at City lead to punishments. I think that they should be seriously punished. I don't even think that they should have like points deductions. That's too soft for City. Or financial ramifications. That's too soft. What they really need to have is titles removed from them, taken away. When Lance Armstrong was found guilty of using EPO and being on drugs when he won all those Tour de France's, what happened? Did they give him a financial fine and let him keep his Tour de France winners' medals and trophies? No. They took him off of him because he was a cheat. That's what you've got to do with Manchester City. Take away their winning trophy and their seasons because they're a disgrace. Exactly, Timo. Strip the treble. They're cheats. If they're found out to be cheats, you can't allow somebody to cheat their way to victory. It reminds, you know what? Manchester City, they're basically Pfizer. Or they're basically one of these scumbag pharmaceutical companies. You know, what was it? There was some drug a little while ago. I forget what it is now, guys, but some sort of drug. I heard Joe Rogan talking about it where I think it was Pfizer or one of those shithouse pharmaceutical companies. Just to go off on a tangent here, but a bit of an analogy. So they approved some drug which they knew was bad and killed people. And about 40,000 people died. And then they had a big lawsuit against them and they had to settle by paying £5 billion. But their amount of profit that they got from selling that drug was £13 billion. So they weren't punished, they weren't stopped, they weren't charged more. They essentially spent £8 million to kill 40,000 people and make 8 billion profit. It's a ridiculous thing. What's happening there? You know, that shouldn't be allowed to happen. And it's just the same with Manchester City. Basically, Man City are murderers, guys. That's what I'm saying. They're a disgrace. They're no better than murderers. Anyway, it's a bit extreme, but you know what I mean. They're just cheats. Okay, anyway, so, right, yeah, there you go. There, ain't that the vaccine company? Well, could well be OHB. There you go. Thank you, Rushmano. So smash a like for the pig. Hey, we've just hit 150 likes. Right, guys, I think that's pretty much everything we've got to talk about tonight. Just I'll go through it quickly again. So if you're just getting in the stream, big news story of the day. Declan Rice is on the target for Manchester United and Ten Hag. Reportedly, we're interested in maybe doing a swap deal, including Scott McTominay or Harry Maguire, or both in the deal. That would be the best case scenario. West Ham and Moyes are understood to be interested in Scott McTominay, and maybe they'd even be interested in him even if there was no deal with Declan Rice, but he certainly could be used as a make-weight. Moyes likes Scotty. Also, Mason Mount's camp in the last few hours told Chelsea again they're not signing a new deal. Chelsea have therefore dropped the price to 60 to 65 million. We had a £50 million offer rejected earlier on today. Ronnie Dodge, thank you for your highlighted member comment. He's been a member for 18 months. He says Mount's pushing the move for us then. Well, it looks like it, Ronnie. Yeah, if you're looking at this news here, Mason Mount's camp in the last few hours told Chelsea again they're not signing a new deal. So it does seem like he's pushing a move to us, but Chelsea are just asking for too much money right now for the guy. I think he's just not really worth that amount. I think Man United were right in increasing our offer a little bit, but £50 million is maximum I'd feel comfortable really paying for Mason Mount because he's pretty average. But, I can see us maybe going a little bit higher. But look, to say they want 60 to 65 doesn't mean they'll get that. It's just a negotiation, isn't it? I could see Man United being foolish enough to spend 55 million on Mount. So it could happen. That will probably be our first signing, unfortunately. That's what I think will happen. Also, Maguire is being reported as, not just included in a potential swap deal for Declan Rice, but it's understood that there is interest from certain clubs in Italy and that his agent are trying to basically convince him to maybe go to Italy, and he probably would be a decent fit for Italy, wouldn't he? Also, Gundogan has left Manchester City. Get in there, my son. He's a good player. Good to see the back of him. De Gea, no agreement with him yet. He may well be leaving the football club. Depends on what's going on. Matty Rushmano, thanks for this, buddy. He's just sent me an update from Fabrizio as well. And here is a retweet from Fabrizio Romano, who's just retweeted something he wrote about Donny van de Beek a little while ago, which says that Donny van de Beek will explore options on the market in the next weeks as he could leave Man United. Donny loves the club and Ten Hag, but he needs and wants to play regular next season. See you later on, Donny. Keep or sell Donny van de Beek live chat. What do you reckon? See you later on, Donny. Thank you for that, Rushmano. Thanks for keeping us with our finger on the pulse here, mate. Legend. Absolute legend. What else, quickly, just to run down? Interest in Nico Barella. Kim Min-jae, more likely to join Bayern, but he's not going anywhere yet until he finishes his national service in Korea. Interest from Man United in Andre Onana has been sounded out about a move to Man United as they continue to await a final decision on David De Gea's future. So we are looking at other options in the goalkeeper position if De Gea indeed does go. So yeah, and we're understood to be interested in making another bid for Mason Mount at some point, potentially soon. So there you go. That's basically the latest news, guys. I'm going to get into the chat for a few minutes, see what you legends have got to say. Smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon for notifications, and let's be getting in there and having you, my friends. Oh, nah, what's my name? Precisely OHB. Thank you, Paul Arse. It's a great show as always. Thank you, everyone, for getting in the chat and making these shows. It's the community around here that does it. You guys keeping the show flowing. Otherwise, this would be pretty painful, me just trying to come up with things to talk about for 90 minutes, So it's pretty good, like the way you guys just get involved in the chat and have your say and lead me on to the next topic a lot of the time. It's great stuff. Thanks for everyone getting in the chat and interacting with me so far. Let's get into the Q&A. Simon says, get rid of Donny on a free if necessary. Yeah, fair play. I think sell him, get a bit of money, but ultimately he's just surplus at United. Just cut our losses on Donny. I'm with you. Sell, says Leanne. Sell, says Nick Stevenson. Get Diogo goalkeeper. Fair play, Raja. Yeah, he would be a good idea as well. Will you take Randall Kolo Muani? He's another one that's on the list of potential signings, isn't he? I mean, I haven't seen him play all that much, but from what I've heard, he is a good player. I like playing with him on FIFA. By the way, you haven't seen because I've not done a FIFA stream for a long time, but I packed a cheeky red pick Mbappe 97 rated beast not so long ago. Happy days. Chris Craig says, when are you going to do a FIFA stream, Piggy? I'll be back on this weekend, mate. I'll be back on doing foot champs this weekend with my 97 red pick Mbappe, lad. I'll be doing that this weekend, so keep a lookout for that. I might even start doing it tomorrow night. There's a foot birthday Cantona SBC, is there really? No way. I have to look into that. Thanks, mate. I haven't really been playing it that much, to be fair, at all, really. Why do we terminate Maguire's deal? We should do, shouldn't we, Rajat, if we can't sell him? Tafisa says, if Saudis came with an offer for you, would you take it, Pig? Absolutely, Tafisa and Barter, mate. If you're talking about 200 million euros a year like Benzema, oh, definitely. You would take Donny off you, says Jamza. Jamza's a Chelsea fan, by the way. You can have him, mate. Go and get him, lad. Be careful what goalkeeper picked to replace David. Took a while to replace Peter, says Jonathan Gallagher. Well said, very true. You're absolutely right. We went for a lot of gash goalies, didn't we, before we found Edwin? Good point. Put Maguire on bargain hunt or flog it, says Simon Warner. I know he is, says Dynamic Melon. Just hope this sale will happen this week, says Josh Lee. Yeah, hopefully before the end of June. Luan says, change my mind. Donny should get another chance because he's never really had the chance. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, I have said that previously. But because of that big injury, his development's been seriously halted. Who's he going to get in the team ahead of? That's the problem. Like, is he going to get those chances? He should maybe get a chance here or there, but he's just slipped too far down the pecking order, I think. He's never taken an opportunity properly at United. That's the problem. He has been given some game time. If you're good enough and you make something happen, you will be in the team the next week. That's what you'd like to think anyway, and he's never really done that. He has been unlucky, Rushmano, but he isn't really good enough. Yeah, I sort of agree with that statement, really, Rushy. He has been unlucky. He wasn't given all that many chances, especially under Ollie. And it's a shame. But he's not really ever really deserved to sort of start that many games because he's never really taken a game by the scruff of the neck and done something amazing. You know, you need to do that, really. If you're going to break your way into a team, you have to perform. It's like when Rashford first came on the scene for United as an 18-year-old. It was out of necessity. We had injury problems. Van Gaal, I think it was, wasn't it? Chucked him in there. What did he do? He scored, he performed, and he continued to score and perform. And therefore, he played his way into the side. It's the same for anyone, really. You've got to perform when you play. Jonathan says Donny doesn't take his chances. Joshua says, Pig, do you think Saudi would be the next Premier League now with some new players that are good? Kante, Benzema, Ronaldo, Neves. I don't think it would be the next Premier League, but I think it would be the next, like, you know, MLS or something like that, you know. Maybe even slightly better than that. But, you know, Messi's just gone to the MLS. They've had great players in the past like Rooney and Beckham and all sorts. And it just having a few good players doesn't really make the league that great. They'd have to sign teams of great players, wouldn't they? They'd have to sign loads of great players in order to make it a Premier League type league. It could happen because they've got the money. But I don't think it's going to happen overnight. But give it a few years, that might be the case. Would I swap Donny and 20 million for Mount? Yes, I definitely would, Jamza Highlights. That would be an absolutely fantastic piece of business for us. I would definitely do that. But I know you would want him, but I don't really see Chelsea wanting him. It's a bit of a gamble on Donny because he's just like not proven in the league and he's been a bit injury prone. Rishab says, Rice to United. You can shut up, mate. He belongs to Arsenal. Does he though? I don't know. If I was Declan Rice, given the opportunity, I'm not so sure I would choose Arsenal over United if all things were the same. Simon says, sell Donny to a promoted club. Nick says, we also don't see him on the training ground or how he even performed there. Right, yeah, I'm not doing FIFA tonight, Red Gold 12, but probably tomorrow night I will be back on it, and then Friday night and Saturday night we'll be getting on it raw, lad. But not tonight. Saudi will be better than France, Portugal, and Dutch league, says Superfat Frank. Yeah, maybe so. I mean, maybe so. I don't know. I'm not so sure about that. I mean, those leagues have, they're definitely, certainly less than the top 4 or 5 leagues in Europe, aren't they? But I'm not so sure. I think they could be on par, though, maybe. You're just annoyed Donny didn't work, said Josh Lee. It could have worked on paper. I still maintain that he was a weird signing from the powers that be at Manchester United and not even, like, the manager. I don't think Ollie wanted him at the time because he signed him and never played him. That's strange. Happy to see Martinez back fit. Yes, Joshua Whitfield, United and Lissandro giving us an update yesterday. He's on the mend. He's had very few chances. He needs a full season to prove himself. He deserves it. Fair one, Luan. I can understand that. Loan Policery to a low-table EPL club, says Rajat. No FIFA tonight, Red Gold. Not tonight, mate. Back tomorrow, lad. Back tomorrow. Right, okay, hang on a sec. We've got a little update on Kane here. Thank you, Rushmano. Reports that Man United have asked Harry Kane to make a transfer request or express his desire to leave if he really wants to come. Nice one. So, yeah, we talked about this a little bit earlier on, that Kane was still holding out hope that that Man United would come a knocking. The problem with Kane is it's Daniel Levy and Spurs wanting too much money. But again, we could maybe do some sort of deal with the player going in the opposite direction. Maybe Martial, maybe McTominay or something like that. Maybe just to convince them to not bend us over for 70, 80, 90, 100 million, which is what they want. It's ridiculous. He's not worth that, obviously. But, I mean, Kane to United is what I want, and I really hope it happens. That'd be sensational, in fact. Donny been here since the Ollie days. How much more chances does Donny need, says Jonathan Gallagher. Fair one. Also, on Donny van der Beek, Rushmano's just sent me an update saying that Donny van der Beek is wanted by Roma. So, Jose Mourinho potentially interested in taking a little bit of Donny van der Beek action. So, you might get your wish sooner or later, to be fair, Jonathan Gallagher, with Donny van der Beek leaving the football club. Kane will have to push for it, says Rushmano. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Spurs should really, in my opinion, want to sell him because this is their last chance to get big money for the guy. Simon says, sell Martial and throw in a free ambulance for him for during or after the match. You think Kane will come and it will be a surprise exit? I think Kane will come as well. I do, I really do, but I don't think it's going to happen until right at the end of the window. Donny's a Woodward melt signing, says Primot. Absolutely. Primot, how are you, dude? I hope you're doing great tonight. Thanks for getting in the stream. Doors that way, Donny, says Jonathan. Facundo needs to go on loan and get experience, says Rajat. Hey there, Craw. What's going on, mate? How you getting on? Hope you're keeping well, Mr. Craw, lad. Are we actually capable of this deal? Yeah, Slip, I guess so. Only like Rushmano says, Kane's going to have to push for a move away. If he pushes for a move away and makes it uncomfortable at Spurs, downs tools essentially, and says publicly that he wants to leave, it puts them in a tricky situation where they basically have to start thinking about selling him, doesn't it? And plus, he's only got 1 year left on his deal, which means he can leave in a year's time for free. Are they just going to want a player who really doesn't even want to play for them at the club and just not asked to even play? It's not like if he really wants to kick up a fuss and really make himself known that he doesn't want to be there, he's not going to score them 30 goals this season. He'll just melt away. And they don't want that. And the new manager doesn't want that. They don't want that disruptive force in the dressing room. So they would have to listen to offers. Now, they will get big money for Kane. I'm talking 70 million quid. But he's only got a year left and he's 30. So he can't get more than that. But 70 to 80 million tops, it would be a good signing for United for 2 or 3 seasons. He's just scored 30 for Spurs. He'd probably score 40 for City in that team. So, goodness me, why wouldn't we want him? And why wouldn't Spurs listen to an offer if he really wants to go and if they can get good money for him and it's their last opportunity to get good money? Okay. So, anyway, right, guys, I've just realised we've been going for 1 hour and 32 minutes, so we better wrap this stream up then. But it has been a great stream. It's been a really enjoyable stream tonight. Thank you, each and every one of you legends, for getting in here and watching the show and having your say. Hey, Chris Koo and Big T, what's going on? Big T says, Kane, Mbappe, Neymar, last day of the transfer window. Could you imagine live streaming that? Here we go, Pig. You would explode. Well, let's face it. Sheikh Jassim comes in. You never know. But yeah, I would have a mangasm if that happened. Chris Koo says, if we get Qatar, you reckon there's any chance we could get Mbappe, or think he's staying till this contract ends? There's a tiny chance, but it's still very unlikely. But yeah, if we got Qatar owners, it's possible. I guess that's the only possibility we could sign him. Thank you to Fiso and Barter. It's good to be back. Thank you, Rushmano. Thank you, Eamon Barrett. Thank you, Mark Egan. Hey, shout out to Devils United in the live chat. Says, hey, Flying Pig. Shout out to you, Maisie. Thank you to Maisie for hosting the great shows lately while I've been away. Thanks for doing an absolute stellar job. You've done a great job, Maisie. And also shout out to you, Eddie, who else? John Shin, Jarvis Cocker, Griffo Chaz, Mick Blue, Errol from the Man United Agenda. Absolutely. Go and check out Maisie's channel, Devils United, everyone. She's a top lass. And she's helped me out a lot recently. So thank you so much for doing that. Thanks for keeping the show on the road. It's much appreciated. And you've been doing a great job. And like I say, we're going to have regular shows on with Maisie and the gang. So they're not going away. They will be a regular part of this channel. And they're a great part of the community. So thank you once again, Devils United. And good to see you in the chat. I hope you're doing well. Chloe Jenkins has got in a £2 super chat. Thank you, Chloe. She says, Kane, no. 5 years too late. Well, ideally we would have gotten 5 years ago, but he's just scored 30 goals in the season just gone. Would we not want those 30 goals for us next season? He's still good enough right now. Look, I agree. In a few years' time, he'll probably be no good. Or he will be good enough to still be in the squad, but he won't be like an ultimate match winner 30-goal a season merchant, which he is at the moment. But for 2 or 3 seasons, I really still think he can do that for us. So the same reason why I want him is the same reason why I want Casemiro. These guys are still good enough and they have bags of experience and they're ready-made to do the job that we need them to do. So that's why I think Kane would be good. It would have been nice to have him 5 years ago, but he was some sort of Spurs melter. And also Daniel Levy's just an absolute dweeb to deal with. And it just wasn't possible to do the deal. But it would have been nice, but I'd still take him right now. I really would. Thank you, Devils United says you're ever so welcome here anytime. Appreciate you asking me. Hey, no worries. You're great at it, to be fair. Great hosting and great insight and just great knowledge you got there, Maisie. Thanks so much. I'll be calling upon you once again very soon. And Chris Koo says, stay strong, Pig. Can't be easy to come back. Thank you, Chris Koo. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, you know, it's a bit daunting, but I'm glad I've done it. And I will be giving you regular content, regular shows coming very, very often. Feel banned, we've gone this low, says Jonathan. You're saying nothing about Kane, says Rushmano. Yeah, I get it. Some people don't rate him. But I don't get it. I don't get the hate for Kane. This guy scored 30 goals in a shit Spurs team. What more do you want to prove that he's good enough for, you know, a top team in the Premier League? Do we want 30 goals in our team next season? I would like that. Don't know about you. Who was the last player to score 30 goals in a Premier League season for Man United? Go. I think it was. Was it Cristiano Ronaldo? Is that how long ago it was? And not the recent time, obviously, that he was here. Was it Ronaldo the last time we've had somebody who scored 30 goals for us in a season? It probably was. And that means it was a long old time ago. And so I would like it if we... I don't think Rooney ever scored 30 league goals for us. He definitely did in all competitions, though, Chris, I would imagine. But I don't think he ever scored 30 league goals, did he? RVP, says Jonathan Gallagher. Crikey, how did I forget that? Still, though, that was like 2013. You know what I mean? That's 10 years ago, yeah? It was RVP. You're absolutely right, guys. So it was RVP. Yeah, you guys are absolutely spot on. But the thing is, that's still a long time ago. That's 10 years ago. It would be nice to have a player that's capable of doing that in our team. And he's like the modern version of RVP. You get him towards the tail end of his career when he's a proven, experienced beast, still capable of doing it at the top level for 2 or 3 seasons. And he just scores you goals and fires you to a title potentially. He is literally that sort of player, just like RVP was, where, I mean, look, RVP technique-wise was on another level if you ask me. But in terms of just sheer finishing, Kane is an absolute don. So, yeah. You rate him, but you're looking to the future, says Chloe. Fair enough, okay. Well, we better get rid of Casemiro then. Tevez was a terrier. Yeah, but Tevez didn't score 30 goals for us. The point I'm making is, we need somebody that can score goals. And Kane is a goal-scoring proven beast. Ulf says Kane would be a great signing, not only for goals, but your youngsters and Rashford will learn so much from him. Spot on, agree with that as well. And I made the case earlier in the stream I did this afternoon. And I'll ask you guys again in this evening show because there's a lot of different people in here tonight. So how many goals do you think that Harry Kane would have scored for Man City this season if he was playing instead of Erling Haaland? Haaland got 36. Kane got 30 in a team that finished what? Were they 7th or 8th in the end? Either way, Spurs are shite. So they're nowhere near as good as Man City. Man City dominate games, they create a lot of chances and they smother teams. He would have got a lot more opportunities. He would have scored way more. I think he would have scored more goals than Haaland. I honestly do. I don't know how many more, but I think he would have scored more than Haaland in that City team. So why wouldn't we want him? I don't understand it. 50 says Boomy, 60 says Tafiso, 44 says Ravens, 45 says Rajat. You'd say 40 easily, Devils United. 40 says Mark Egan. Yeah, that's right, Rushmano. City wanted Kane last season. 40 says Simon. I rest my case. I rest my case, guys. He's a top player, even if it's only for a couple of years. Okay, I'm going to have to wrap up this show now, guys, but it's been a great show. Thank you, every one of you, for getting in here. Thank you for all the generosity in the live chat. Thank you for all the positivity in the live chat, all the condolences, all the well wishes. Really appreciate you all. It's a great community of legends. Thank you, every single one of you guys and gals out there, for getting in and having your say tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. We've got 169 likes, dudes. Let's see if we can get 175 before it ends. Smash that like on the video. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. Click the bell icon for notifications. Make sure you give us a follow on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick. All the links are in the description at Flying Pig United. Check out the website, flyingpigunited.com. I will be watching all of United's friendly matches, Joshua Whitfield. Does it start on the 12th of July, I think, isn't the first one? Thank you, Devils United. It's great to see you again, Flying Pig. Thank you so much, Maisie. Great to have you aboard the Bacon Express as well. Thanks so much for all the help and all to the other guys as well, you know, for helping with the shows. But you really did a great job. And make sure you check out Maisie's channel, guys. Devils United. She's a top lass. Great content. Ravensman San, thank you, bud. Jamsa Highlights, Chris Koo, Jonathan Gallagher, Big T, Mark Egan, Primot, Luan France, Sin Games, Joshua Whitfield, Daryl, Rush Marno, thanks for all the updates, bud. Madhouse, Boomy, Chris Koo, Nick Stevenson, Dynamic Melon, Daryl Gilligan, Simon Warner. Thank you very much, you too, Simon. Thank you, Hoop Man. Great to see you as well. He says, thanks for blessing us with 2 streams today, mate. Thank you very much for watching them, Hoop Man. Cheers, Boomy. Thank you, Nick Stevenson, Luan France, Daryl Gilligan, Jonathan Gallagher, Must Play, Luan, all the moderators, all the members. The Cake Cadet says, play the clip, Pig. Oh, Cake Cadet. You know what? I don't have it, but I'm going to have... Wait a second. Let me go over here. Sorry, wait. Oh, shit. Damn it. Okay.
The time has come to get these Yank
It's gonna have to be
bastards
this
out
way.
our football club. Come on, United.
I had to go over to my watch-along thing because it wasn't on my latest news section thing. So I had to go over to my watch-along screen. But anyway, thank you so much, KK, for the £2 super chat. Let's get rid of those Glazers. Hashtag Glazers out to end on, guys. I couldn't agree more with you, bud. Quality, man. Actually, that never gets old, does it? That never gets old. Thank you so much, KK, for that, bud. And everybody else as well. It's been a pleasure as always. Shout out to all the moderators in blue for moderating the live chat. Primot, Hoopman, Luan, Rush Marno, Jonathan Gallagher, the Vootinator, everybody. Thank you so much for being moderators and moderating the chat. Thank you all the members in green for being members and supporting the channel. And thank you to everybody else for getting in here and chatting with me and everyone else and having your say. Sweet dreams to you, Super Fat Frank, as well, and every one of you. Good night. God bless. Piggy loves you. We'll be back tomorrow with more content. I'm trying to arrange a show as well for Maisie to host tomorrow as well. So keep a lookout for that, guys. Should be on around about 8 p.m. Just got to get confirmation from a few peeps. And that should be good to go. And I'll be getting back at it with the daily content and updates whenever there's breaking news. And I'm going to try and do at least the 2 shows a day in the afternoon and the evening as well, just to give you the latest rundown of what's happening with the transfer window and stuff. And also the takeover news also. So we'll keep you up to date. Thanks, guys. Catch you soon. Like, subscribe, comment. See you on the next one. Thank you for tuning in. And remember, Piggy loves you. And also remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.